Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a new year, I've got a new setup, got new stuff going on. Hope you guys had a happy and a prosperous holiday, and Christmas is over. Well, not really, but Christmas is over, so let's start on Valentine's Day, because that's what we do here. So I am going through this restart to finish. Is a 14-inch Dollar Tree frame, and I'm going to put 18 pipe cleaners on it. 6 go in the inner 2 rings, and 12 go on the outer 2 rings. The inner ring, you go in between the 2 brackets right there, and on the outer ring, you go in between the bracket and the middle pipe cleaner we put on first. So there's 3 in each section. One day I'm going to be able to explain that so it makes sense and doesn't make me just seem like a raving lunatic. So I usually like to start in the middle, and I'm just twisting these twice. There's no need to twist them 10 times. They're just going to end up breaking. And I'm putting a little tension on them just to make sure they don't slide around too much. And now I'm on the outside. These are going on the outer 2 rings. If you want the long version of this video, it will be up tomorrow morning at 7. We talk about a lot of stuff. We go through this step by step, and yeah. So right now it is December 11th, maybe? I filmed this on December 6th because I was just going crazy not doing anything, so I can't tell you how my Christmas went yet, even though it's after Christmas when you're seeing this. So tell me down below how you guys are doing, how things went, what you got, all that good stuff. So I have my 18 pipe cleaners on here now, and this is just some jute poly mesh. It's got a line of white through it. I think it's poly. I don't think, no, this doesn't look like snowdrift. I'm going to do the poof method all the way around, just to form a base. And I'm going to do some ruffles on top. So I'm pinching up the edge right here and securing it in. I usually do that with a zip tie. I don't know why I didn't this time. I mean, I go back and add it, but I usually don't use that first pipe cleaner. Making sure that pipe cleaner is sticking up so that it doesn't scratch the back of your door or your customer's door or anybody's door. And I'm measuring 12 inches because with 10 inches, I have a lot of mesh left over. With 12 inches, I have a lot of mesh left over. And I don't like half rolls or quarter rolls. Like, I want to use the whole roll. I want to make sure that when I'm adding up how much this wreath is going to cost, that I account for that whole roll, and I don't have to say, okay, the roll of mesh was $5 and I used, you know, 2/3 of that, and then trying to do that math. I'd rather just use the whole roll and make a nice full wreath. So these are 12 inches, and I'm just going through, fluffing them out. Did I say these were 10? These are 12. They're 12. It's early in the morning and I had like a terrible night's sleep, so. So we're getting ready to complete the outer ring. That's our last one. And now sometimes I zip tie to the top of the frame, sometimes I don't. I'm trying to do things a little bit more, not quicker, just more economical, I guess, and just make things a little bit easier. So I'm just jumping up to the next available pipe cleaner because this is all going to get covered up anyway. I'm just trying to make things a little easier on myself is what I'm saying. I don't have to put 7 zip ties on to hold down deco mesh. and getting something to drink because I was coughing like a crazy person. So yeah, my new setup is on my long arm table. It is much bigger. It's a 14-foot table. I have a new lighting setup. I have a new camera setup, and it's working very well so far. I designed the kind of rig that the lights and the camera are suspended from, and my sister cut everything for me, and I put it together, and me and my mom got it attached to the table, and I really like it. So to end right there, I just added another cable tie just because I want a secure start and a secure stop. I don't need anything else in between that because these aren't going anywhere. Now I'm just going to go through and fluff out. You can do this as you go. I kind of do it as I go, and then I stop, and then I start again, and then I always end up giving it a final fluff before I add another layer of mesh though. So, and this is a pretty standard method of wreath making. If this was 21-inch mesh, this would be, you could be done with this wreath right now. I mean, you could add a bow to it and, you know, the frame would be covered, but because it's 10-inch, it's a little sparse. So this is some leftover poly jute with metallic red in it. It is leftover from Christmas, but I didn't end up using it, so it got moved to Valentine's Day. And right now I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Because I haven't made at this point I haven't made a wreath in like 2 weeks, so I had no idea what I was doing, how I was cutting. I'm in a new spot, new space, so it took me a while to be like, oh, okay, no, it usually goes over here. And I'm cutting these at 19 inches. With a 10-yard roll, you should be able to get 18 20-inch pieces, but I can never cut exactly 20 inches, so I'm conservative with my cuts. I go in an inch just to make sure I have enough. And this hammer works better than anything I've used as a weight. I don't know if anybody has tried using a hammer like that, because the handle is kind of elevated. Like the head is weighed down. Is it the head? That's what the hammering part is called? The handle's a little bit elevated, so it's easy to pull. See, this is all I'm left with. It's easy to pull, so yeah. I like that for using it as a weight. Now I'm just gonna roll up the edges, crinkle it a little, put it curl side down. And I should have cut off, it would have, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I should be cutting off the pipe cleaners right now because this wreath doesn't get any ribbon besides the bow. This year I'm just trying to figure out how to do things a little faster because 2 hours to make a wreath is a bit much. The videos are very big files and they take a long time to edit and render and upload and process, so I'm trying to cut down that time some, which, you know, I didn't really do for this video. I think if I just make my bows beforehand, I'll be good, because that always takes me 3.5 hours. So yeah, my goal with this was to make a kind of rustic Valentine's Day wreath. I had a sign that looked like a plank of wood, not a plank of wood, like a wood slab. That I bought last year on clearance, and I have moved it like 20 times. Like I keep looking at it, I'm like, oh, is that a wood slab? I could make something out of that. And I pick it up and I'm like, oh no, it said Valentine's Day sign. Went to go make this wreath. I can't find the sign anywhere. I don't know where it's at. I'm assuming someone broke into my house and that's all they stole because I can't find it. So I had to end up going with a different sign, which was fine. But eventually I will find that sign, and I don't care if it's in the middle of July. I'm making a Valentine's Day wreath with it, and we're just gonna have to deal with that. So I've been packing up all my Christmas stuff, and as I was packing everything up, I was making sure I was putting away my deco mesh that is definitely red and green, or red, green, and white. Anything that was definitely Christmas mesh, and anything that was like this mesh here that's just red with the poly jute, I moved that into my Valentine's box, along with any ribbons that could have worked for Valentine's Day. Like if I had ribbons that were just white, or just red, or red and white, or red and natural. And that's how after Valentine's Day, I'm gonna be done with the red until what, like 4th of July, like patriotic stuff. So just before you pack away all your Christmas stuff, which you may have done already, just see what works for next year. Next holiday. And by the time I take this stuff back out for 4th of July, patriotic, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, all that stuff, it'll be time to have it out for Christmas again. So I think we have one more to put in. Yeah. Then go through just kind of pulling up that, I don't know what that was, just kind of pulling up that background mesh a little bit to break up the red, to give it a little bit more texture. Because it's there to form a base, but if it goes with whatever you're doing, you might as well, make sure it's showing. I have this heart thing. I couldn't get this to work. It's like a rustic heart with some burlap or jute twine on it or something. I tried. Couldn't get it to work. Okay, so this is like, I think this is the next day. I'm still like, I think at this point I'm like, listen, this is not gonna work. Maybe it'll work in another wreath. I just don't know how to get it to work in this one. So I threw that off the side, and then I moved my wreath to the side, y'all. It's not just like sticking out the, half on the table, half off, because there's room for it to go somewhere else now. What do you think about that, huh? Now I'm showing you all the ribbons and you can't see any of them. Let's fix that. There we go. So I have a stripe, a solid, a velvet, a red and white, a candy cane stripe that's natural and red, and then a natural colored ribbon with white dots on it. And I'm starting out with the, I think this is a 4-inch, it's either 3 or 4-inch red burlap. And when you're using, I find at least, when you're using, like, see, this red is different from the striped red, which is different from the red in the candy cane, which is different from the red accent on the white ribbon. If you're using like 2 reds, it's gonna look weird. If you, put 3 or 4 reds together, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. So this is just the terry bow. I don't know. I think I'm starting off at 6. Yeah, do 6, 5, 5. I don't know. If you want to know how the bow is made, make sure to watch the long version tomorrow. I might have started at 7 and went to 6. Who knows? I can't watch this in like super high quality because I can't watch it and do the voiceover at the same time. Just, you know, start off at whatever size you want your bow to be and make each one a little bit smaller. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see too many bows in 2020 because I'd rather just get them done, get them fluffed, get them perfect, and be able to stick it on a wreath and be like, okay, there's our bow. We didn't have to sit here for 20 minutes while I messed around with it and had several small meltdowns. I bought so much of this striped ribbon. So see, every layer is coming in just a little bit more. Apparently I decided to take a phone call. Oh, so see, now this is another red. This is more like a cranberry. It's a velvet red that I don't know if I use this in any Christmas this year. Last year, I mean, because it's 2021 as I'm right now. It's definitely not still December. And that's going in there. Which I kinda, like I know that the horizontal red and white stripe has white in it, but for some reason this just, I should have put it further back in the bow maybe. So I'm adding my zip tie, tightening it up, not all the way, just tightening it up a little bit. I'm gonna slip in a pipe cleaner and then we will begin the arduous process of fluffing it. I'm so frustrated with bows. Like, I don't know what's going on. But every time I make one, I'm like, that looks terrible. But it eventually looks good once I like get it in the wreath and fluff it out and everything. And I do put this in the wrong spot. I guess saying it's the wrong spot is kind of arbitrary, but this table is lower than my other one, so I'm not like looking down as much as I used to be. So in relation to the sign, it's too low. I do eventually move it. You'll see that in the final pictures that it's up a little further. I think it's out a little more. You know, to say that the bow looked bad, but it's coming together. I mean, not right now, because I'm like, is this in the wrong spot? Like, I'm thinking it the whole time, like, this seems like it's in the wrong spot. Oh, I guess I do fix it a little bit, and then I'm sure I go back and fix it again later. Yeah, because I can, like, it's hard for me sometimes to make a wreath like this, like it's in front of me, and I'm looking at it in the viewfinder. I'm like, okay, well, I can see what it looks like, but until it's up on the wall or up on a door, I'm like, oh, well, I didn't realize that, you know, this was too low or this was too high, or so this is I think this is a Dollar General sign. It might have been like $1. Is that what it says on there? $1, $2? It had a little easel on the back, which I just broke off because I'm gonna, you know, stick some pipe cleaners on. What does that say? I can't even read it. $2? I'm just cutting some pieces of this velvet because this sign is not thick enough to staple into, so I'm just going to glue the pipe cleaners down. I'm going to dip them in my glue pot. Generous amount of glue, and then just stick those on top so it helps glue everything together. See, I'm still trying to make the heart work. And like, it was a good effort, but I think it's like too tall. Like the heart itself is like, I like a nice fat heart. So I'm like, wait, if I put this over here and I put this over there, and eventually I'm just like, nope. So I'm wiring this in and making sure I go through some of the mesh so that it doesn't squish everything down. And I don't know why I left. I think I was trying to like make longer tails at the bottom and shorter tails at the top, but in the end I was just like, nope, am I moving the bow again? I sure am. Completely off this time. And I know I moved it again after I was done with the video. Because see, that's too low. But I guess I thought that was good enough, so. Dovetailing everything. I think I go back and forth with how long to leave these tails, but eventually they do get cut short. Yeah, they're getting cut short right now. I love that wide ribbon. It's just, it's weird to dovetail it because it's like such a big dovetail. Yeah, I hope you guys can see what I'm talking about with that bow. It is like even with the top of the sign, and it looks, how do I describe that? Like, I know why it looks wrong, I just don't know how to put it into words. It almost looks like I was like following a plan. Like, you know, oh, when you put your bow on, make sure that it's centered with the top of your sign, and it just looks like less dynamic, I guess. Like, it just looks a little static. Because it's literally just a little bitty sign with a great big bow right next to each other. Like, one's on one side, one's on the other. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Still with the heart. Oh, Adam, will you ever learn? I'm like, wait, if I put it here, if I put it there, if I stick it out from here, and then I'm like, no, you know what? Let me just not. This is a garland I got for, I think it was $2.25 or $2.50 from Dollar General. It's 3 burlap hearts and 3 little hearts made out of ticking. You could easily make this yourself. In fact, didn't we do something like that? We made something. Oh, the candy corn. Yeah, the candy corn from the candy corn swag, where I just made the little felt candy corns that were kind of stuffed. And my glue gun's clogged. I don't know why I'm using my glue gun. I think I didn't want to risk putting way too much glue on here, but I ended up needing a lot of glue because these gave me problems. I'm not thrilled with the position of that picking heart, but it's glued in there, and it's glued in there good, so that's where it's going to stay. And then I just kind of spread the rest of the burlap ones out. One goes in the bow. And one goes on the other side of the sign. So yeah, that is my wreath. This one, it's just, I think I ended up wiring, did I end up wiring this in maybe? I might have done that afterwards. It wouldn't sit right. So I was definitely out of practice when I was making this wreath. I was just like, what is going on? Why can't I do things? So yeah, if you want more information on what's going on, you want to hear some storytelling, you want to know what's been going on with me and the dog and health stuff and mental health stuff and all that, you can watch the longer version tomorrow. Those are always more fun. And you can see I moved the bow up. It looks a lot better. It looks a lot more balanced. Yeah, I just like that a lot better. So thanks for watching, you guys. Welcome to 2021. Did I say 2020 earlier? I don't know. Welcome to 2021. We're gonna have a lot of fun this year. We're gonna do stuff. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.